Hello all, I'm Marin. Welcome to another reading vlog. This is going to be another buzzword vlog. If you watched last month's vlog, which I will link up above, you will know that I've caught up on all of the outstanding prompts that I needed to read a book for. So we will only be focusing on April's prompts in this vlog, which is very good. I don't have as much spare time this month as I did last month because I did have spring break last month. So I'm very glad I only have to focus on 2 books. Here is where my buzzword challenge stands at this point. And then here is where the buzz cover challenge stands at this point. So those are the 6 books that I have read for the various prompts, and we are going to focus on April's this month. Now, April has the same words on both the cover and the buzzword challenge, and that is animals. So I needed a book with an animal in the title and an animal on the cover. So for animal in the cover, I will be reading Jackal by Aaron E. Adams. I have been looking forward to this one since it was released. I've heard some really good things. I know that it is kind of hit or miss for some people, but I know people who have really loved it as well. So I'm looking forward to this. This is a mystery thriller, which I hope keeps me on the edge of my seat. And then for animal on the cover, for the buzz cover, I will be reading a brand new release. That is The Sirens by Amelia Hart. I read Wayward by her when it came out last year, I think. Was it last year or the year before? And I gave it 5 stars. I really liked that one. So we will see where this one falls. This one has sea animals on the cover. So we have a starfish here. We have a fish down here, a fish here. So animals on the cover, marine animals in particular. So yeah, that is what we're going to be reading. Hopefully these will both be winners. We'll cross our fingers. I am going to be starting with Jackal first, so I will come back and give you an update once I am halfway through. I am about halfway through Jackal, so I wanted to go ahead and do a midpoint check-in. I'm on page 159, which is chapter 11. So Jackal is following a woman named Liz. Liz is from a small rural town in Pennsylvania. She has not been home in years. She basically left town after she graduated high school and has not been back. But her best friend is getting married and Liz is in the wedding, so she has to go back home. While she is at the reception, her best friend's daughter disappears. And Liz has started to uncover a kind of sordid history about her town. And she has realized that every summer since like the 1980s, a black girl has gone missing. And she is now trying to figure out what's going on with that, who might be responsible, and she is trying to help find Caroline, who is the best friend's daughter. So this is very much a look at racism in this small town. Liz is a black woman. When she was attending high school, she was one of just a handful of black people at her school. And so she is kind of confronting the racism of the town and its history. So I am liking the vibes a lot. It is very creepy, very eerie. There are definitely a lot of questions that need to be answered. We've been introduced to quite a few kind of plot points at this point in time. We are also getting flashbacks, if you will, of some of the other women or girls who have gone missing. So we're getting their POV kind of interspersed. So I'm definitely liking this. I'm liking the vibes. I'm liking where it's going, its messaging, and I'm very curious to see how this story is going to wrap up. So once I have finished, I will come back and share full thoughts, final rating, etc. with you, but so far so good. I am very much enjoying this. I have finished Jackal by Aaron E. Adams. I am going to give this 4 stars. I thought it might be a 5-star, but then the last 25% of this book kind of went off the rails a little bit, I guess. So there is this element that pops up, if you will, out of nowhere, you get like one little aside that in hindsight you can see was the author trying to set up what was going to happen. But for me, it doesn't work for a few reasons, but I am not able to talk about it because of spoilers. So I did not love that. So I'm putting it at 4 because otherwise this was a really solid thriller, I thought. I think there are people that are saying that it's a little too convoluted and confusing. I never found it confusing. I was always able to kind of follow what was happening. I just really did not like that she threw this little twist in, I guess, at the end, because I don't think it was necessary. I think we could have just stuck with the who and like the whodunit and been fine, but she added a little bit of extra element to it and it just didn't work for me. So yeah, overall, really solid book. I really liked the vibes. Liz's point of view is very well done. I also do wish, however, that we would have gotten a little bit more of the historical elements of Johnstown, Pennsylvania. She mentions in her author's note, she mentions in her author's note a little bit of the backstory, and you get a tiny bit of that in like the narrative, but I just would have liked a little bit more. And I know that this wasn't like a historical thriller, but I feel like the few sentences we got in here could have been expanded on and done a little bit differently, I guess. I would have liked to see more of the historical element in this, but that's just a tiny quibble. My biggest issue was just that I didn't love like the last quarter of the book and the element. Not even the last quarter. It's probably more like the last 10% of the book where this piece is introduced, and it just didn't work for me. So 4 stars for this one. I am very, very glad to have read this. She has a new book coming out. I don't remember if it's this year or next year. I'll put the cover right here. That sounds very interesting as well. So I'm looking forward to reading more from this author. And I'm glad that I finally gave this one a read, that it worked for Buzzword, and I finally crossed it off my list. I would recommend. And yeah, I think that about sums it up. So very happy to have read this. And now we are going to move on to The Sirens by Amelia Hart. So let's go ahead and get reading that one. I have started The Sirens by Amelia Hart. I am halfway through. I am getting ready to start part 2. There are 3 parts to this book. So let me go ahead and give a little synopsis and then some initial thoughts. So if you read Wayward by her, which was a 5-star read for me, I believe that came out in 2023, if I'm not mistaken. I really liked that book, and when it was coming out, it was getting a lot of rave reviews, but then as time went on, other people didn't like it quite as much. But for me, it really, really worked. So I have very high expectations for The Sirens. Amelia Hart does a very good job of taking 3 POVs from different generations of time and weaving a story. Okay, that's what she did in Wayward. That's what she's doing here. The 3 POVs in this one, though, are a little bit different. So we have Lucy, who is present day, if you will, 2019. Then we have 2 sets of sisters from 1800. And then we have a diary, which is giving our 3rd point of view, and that was in 1999. So those are your 3 time periods for this book. Lucy is a student at university studying journalism. She wakes up one night, middle of the night, early morning, etc., and realizes that she is strangling her ex-boyfriend. So she was sleepwalking and like woke up in the act. So that's how it starts. That's like how this book starts off basically. And so that's quite the introduction to the story, if you will. She decides to flee the university and go to her sister, who has just relocated to a very small town. This book is set in Australia, I should mention. And when she gets to her sister's house, her sister is not there. So that's kind of like how this story starts off. Lucy then finds herself kind of unweaving a bit of a mystery, and it has to do with the sinking of a convict ship in 1800, which is where we get the 1800 POV, where we are following twin sisters who are put on this convict ship and sent from Ireland to Australia. So that is the second POV. So Lucy is like unwinding what happened with the convict ship, but also a series of men who have gone missing in that small town. Okay, so that is your setup. And I just really like Amelia Hart's writing. I find it very easy to read. It's a little bit more lyrical. I just really like it. It does a good job of like immersing me in the story. So for me, the first half of this has gone really well. Part one ended with quite the bombshell that is dropped. And I wouldn't necessarily say that I was shocked, because I think I could see it coming, even if I didn't necessarily know that that's what was going on until like the reveal. It didn't shock me. So it made sense, if you will. I guess there was enough foreshadowing to like send you in that direction. So I'm looking forward to seeing what is going to happen next. I am reading this physically, which I was a little nervous about because I have not done very much physical reading at all this year. I have only read one other actual book, and then I've read a few ebooks, and then a few where I have mixed the audio with that. So reading this one solely physically had me a little nervous, but her writing is just something that really works for me, so I've been able to get through this pretty quickly. I'm looking forward to the second half, and I will come back and share my thoughts once I have finished the book. But so far, so good. I wonder if this will be another 5-star, so I guess time will tell. All right, I have finished The Sirens, and I am happy to report that I liked this one just as much as Wayward. It perhaps didn't have quite the emotional impact that that one did, but I am giving this the same rating. I'm giving this 5 stars. I just really, really like the way Amelia Hart crafts a multi-generational story, and the way she kind of weaves like the magical elements in. This was just really well written, in my opinion. Now, it does not have as good of ratings as Wayward. It is currently sitting at like a 3.81, which isn't terrible, but I don't know if that's because other people have read it and not liked it, or if just not a lot of people have read it, because I didn't really notice how many ratings there were. But I really liked this. For me, this is like the kind of book that I just really go for. It combines historical fiction with a bit of a mystery and paranormal / magical realism elements, and it just works. So this one, like I said, the second half kicked off with like a big reveal. Once again, I was not shocked by anything that happened, but I did really like to see how the story kind of unfurled, particularly with the things that Lucy finds out about herself and her family. I just really liked it. I don't really know how else to say it. I just think the writing is really, really good. And I love the way she crafts her stories with her multi-POVs. So if you liked Wayward, I don't know why you wouldn't like this one, because I feel like they have some of the same vibes. But for me, this was just really well written, and I just had a good time with it. And my fear about reading it physically was not an issue, because I stayed up way too late last night reading the last half of it. So I flew through the second half. I just really, really liked it. I found it very engrossing, very engaging. I don't like the word unputdownable because I think it's a dumb word, but that describes my experience with this. This was a very quick read. I had actually blocked out like chapters or amounts of pages, I should say, per day that I wanted to read, and I put that all by the wayside and just read the entirety of the second half in one go. That's how much I liked it, and considering that I was reading it physically, I feel like that's pretty high praise. The writing had to be something that would pull me in for me to continue to read this physically in that way. It has been ages since I have like devoured a physical read, so it gets bonus points for that in my opinion. So I'm giving this 5 stars. I really, really liked this. This does check off my Buzz cover. So let's go ahead and do a quick little recap of where I am with the Buzz challenges. And then we'll close out this vlog. So as you already saw, I did read Jackal for my buzzword, animal in the title. A jackal obviously is an animal, 4 stars. So that does tick off the buzzword challenge for April, which means I am on track for next month. And then for the Buzz cover, we again had animals, this time on the cover. And when I was talking about this earlier, I missed an animal. So let's go ahead. We have starfish, seahorse, fish, and then if we're counting like clams as animals, you know, that we've got that going on. Coral is maybe not an animal, but it is living. So, you know, yeah, lots of animals on this one. Also, it's really, really pretty. It does have like the gold kind of gilded with like the starfish. So I really like this cover. Here is the back if you are curious. But yes, 5 stars. Buzz cover challenge is complete. I am very, very happy with this one. This was also on my 2025 TBR, the 12 books that I wanted to read. So yes, this is the first 5 star from that list. Now, obviously I've only read 4, but this is the first 5 star. I highly recommend it if you liked Wayward. So there you go. 2 books down. Buzzword and Buzz cover challenges are complete for April. And I will see you again with another Buzzword vlog in May. I have kind of set a tentative schedule to go ahead and do a Buzzword vlog each month of the year. I've never done that before, so you will continue to see these. But yes, this was a great way to do the Buzzword this month. I had a lot of fun. This book was on my April TBR. This one is not, but I really loved it. So there you go. That wraps up this vlog. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me as I completed the Buzzword and Buzz cover challenges for April. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you would like to see more from me. If you made it to the end of this video and would like to leave me an emoji, why don't you choose something sea or ocean related in honor of the sirens? Because this book was fabulous and I highly recommend. Otherwise, I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.